My name's Aaron Fitzgerald, and I'm the lucky guy who gets to fly this helicopter in the United States. The BO-105 is a really special machine. It was designed for use in the German Army. It was a light attack and utility helicopter, but the idea was they needed one that they could fly nap of the earth, high speed, low level, up and over obstacles, and then back down under cover, and do that quickly at high speed. So when you do that, you generate G-forces both on the positive and the negative side when you go over. So they needed a rotor head and transmission system that was robust enough to handle those aerodynamic forces. And that's why they overbuilt this in the way they did, using the rigid rotor system, the titanium rotor head. The transmission is directed, bolted directly to the aircraft, which is kind of unusual. Usually there's dampening buffers in there, and this doesn't have that. So it's very, very robust. They didn't really intend for us to go out and do loops and rolls with it, but being overbuilt for its purpose allows us to do what we do and be well within the performance envelope of the helicopter. This helicopter is very lightly modified. So what we did is stripped it all down, and when I say we, I mean Red Bull. I didn't do it, but it's all stripped down to the bare metal to make it very light to increase the performance, which is a very basic mod. But then also the battery was moved to the nose of the aircraft to change the CG to a more forward CG, which is more favorable for aerobatics. But other than that, it's stock right out of the box. Any BO-105 is capable of doing what we do. Well, what we do is aerobatics in a helicopter. We do a fairly basic aerobatic routine when compared to the airplane routines. Those aerobatic sequences involve some gyroscopic tumbling and things that we don't do, but we do some that are specific to the helicopter as well. It's unusual to see a helicopter upside down at all, so just loops and rolls is pretty cool and interesting to watch, and it's sometimes shocking for people who haven't seen it before to see a helicopter go upside down and come back around again and be perfectly fine. That's a thrilling thing to see. So we try to add more to it. My display sequence gets a little bit more complicated each season. I try to add new moves. I'm working on a few things right now. Well, my favorite thing to perform, which is specific to the helicopter, we call it a bow turn, because in Germany and Austria, the pilots over there call this a bow. We call it a 105 or a BO-105, but they just shorten that to bow. So they named the turn after the helicopter. And basically what the maneuver is a turning maneuver. So you come in on the show line heading, pitch up to about 50 or 60 degrees until we capture the altitude and airspeed value that we're looking for, and then push it over forward on the pitch axis to the inverted position. And then as soon as we're inverted, we start to fall, and the rotor thrust is pushing upward now and pulling us down. And as we fall, we rotate 180 degrees on the yaw axis, or a pedal turn. So now we've rotated another 180 degrees, and then from this position we pull through 180 degrees again on the pitch axis and exit the way we came in. I don't know for sure who invented that maneuver, but it was taught to me by a guy named Rainer Wilke, and he's kind of my mentor, my teacher. He's the one who taught me how to do all these maneuvers. Him and my boss, Blackie Schwartz, who's our chief helicopter pilot at the Flying Bulls. Those two guys are the ones that brought me in and taught me how to do this, and gave me this wonderful and exciting skill set that I'm very fortunate to have. I've been flying helicopters for 26 years, but I didn't start doing aerobatics until about 5 years ago. That's when, 2016, January of 2016 was when I first was hired by the team, and then I kind of worked my way into the aerobatic side of it, and I'm about 3 seasons in now. And to answer the question, how you get proficient in aerobatics is basic fundamental practice and training with the guys who've been doing it for a long time, and then practice and practice and practice. I go out almost every day and practice just to stay sharp, but also to try and make the show more dynamic and add energy and make it more precise and clean. And there's always room for improvement. And I don't know that it's possible to fly a perfect aerobatic sequence, so the pursuit of that is what keeps me engaged and keeps me challenged and interested, and I love that about it. The helicopter and this program and myself are all part of a larger group called the Flying Bulls. It's based out of Salzburg in Austria. And then here in the United States, we have the Red Bull Air Force, and we have Kirby Chambliss. So we have an aerobatic airplane flown by a many-time national champion, several-time world champion. He's probably the best there is, and I get to fly with him. I was a fan, and now he's my teammate, and it's so exciting to be in the air with him and talk to him on the radio. It's just really cool. It's a huge honor. And then our skydiving team is comprised of the top skydivers in the world. Many of them are world champions in different skydiving disciplines. So we all come together into the aerobatic box, and we do about a 20-minute combined show. So we come in and we have skydivers that jump from low altitudes. We have Kirby doing aerobatics around them, and then we have wingsuiters that fly into the box, and then Kirby flies around around them, and then I come in and do an aerobatic display sequence, and then Kirby comes in and finishes it off with a super high energy dynamic aerobatic sequence himself. So it's basically 20 minutes of all different aerial disciplines of flight all together in one, and it's non-stop action. We love doing it, and it's fun to watch.